You know I'm right. Nick Durst here with Joe Calabrese. And Joe, very excited for our guest today. Not only is he a former player in the National Football League, but he is a big-time entrepreneur that's right up our alley. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. He started his own business. He's got a couple of family businesses with his brothers. We're really excited to have him on. He's going to be a lot of fun. Chris Gronkowski. Chris,
Hey,
welcome, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
We are pumped up here and excited to have you on. Real quick, we got to ask you off the top here about your boy Mojo. Is this guy is he always that hyped? Is it real? How'd you guys meet Mojo?
Dude, that dude has been that hype since the day I met him. So I actually played with him at Maryland. He came in walk on at Maryland. He was challenging every single offensive lineman because he was a D tackle. Just going all out in practice. He was out of his mind. He was screaming. The coach was getting pissed. He was, our head coach was like, "Someone just buried this guy," and you couldn't bury him because he just had so much juice. So, he's been like that since day one. He used to not party or like go out or anything though in college. He was like really straight edge, and then afterwards he started to party with us. So we became really good friends.
Yeah, and people don't realize because like in his business, he's always with these huge guys. He's a big dude.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big dude.
So how'd you end up at the University of Arizona? Arizona, obviously, also a big party school, but you're there, you're playing football, and you were taking your studies seriously there, doing accounting and business management.
Yeah, kind of.
At least picking the right degree path.
Yeah, man. I figured I'd try to get the hardest degree I could. For me, I didn't think I was going to play in the NFL. So I went there just, thinking let's have some fun. Let's enjoy this. But at the same time, let's take advantage of a full scholarship and get the best degree that I can. I also, you're there for extra time. They're there for summer school. So you're taking extra classes. So I'm like, man, I can get all this extra school. You need extra credits for, a CPA degree. You need 150 credits instead of just 120. So I'm like, I could accomplish that, get a pretty good degree, move on. And, I thought I was going to be like an accountant making, I don't know, some decent money leaving school. But I'm really glad that didn't happen.
How brutal was it in the summer there in Arizona? I mean, I can't even remember a heat wave across the country right now, but what is it, 120 on average in the summer there?
We get up to like 110 in Tucson. Phoenix is a little hotter, but stadiums, we would actually run stadium stairs at like 1:00 in the afternoon. And it was so hot that you just put your hand over your head because you just felt that friggin' heat, man. So you're trying to do anything to cool off. But stadiums, middle of the day were insanity, but you get used to it. And what I like about it is once you get used to it, you could play in any weather after that.
Yeah, I mean, the conditioning is probably, you're much more conditioned after that. And obviously you're a big no sleeves guy, as we could see here, but I got to ask you, like, what is it with, we're watching either training camp in the summer or spring camp for football. What is it with all these guys rocking long sleeves when it's like 95 degrees? What's the reasoning behind that?
I have no clue. I don't know why they're wearing it unless now like the gear kind of like it cools you off, I guess. Usually, at least when I was playing, like it wasn't cool to wear sleeves. Even if it was -10 out, you still had to wear no sleeves. So I was always in the no sleeve club.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So your brother, Rob, also went to Arizona, but you come from a family of 5, which is pretty awesome. So your oldest brother is Gordy, next is Dan, then you, then Rob, then Glenn, right? So talk about growing up in a household of 5. How competitive were you guys? You guys probably like wrestled in rough house with each other your whole life. I'm an only child, so I don't really have like that kind of previous family experiences. So what you got to experience is pretty fortunate. So what was it like growing up?
Well, I mean, Joe, man, I could come over there and knock you around a little bit if you want me to.
Like that sounds good. I think,
sounds great.
You got Joe's birthday is the 4th of July. Give him some birthday punches.
Oh, I like it. I got married on the 4th. That's a big day, so I can definitely come over, man. What we used to do was we'd hold each other down and we just give each other like ridiculous amount of Charlie horses as hard as we possibly can. That was a go-to play, man. So like shoulders and you're your quads, we would just light each other up, man. And that was the play. Like, hold them down. One brother holds them down. The other brother just comes in and just bam, bam. The one rule was that we couldn't punch each other in the face, and then, well, I guess we couldn't hit each other below the waist either. So no ball shots either. So
you guys have respect for your brother.
Yeah, for sure. So other than that, man, it was all out. So my parents didn't stop us from doing it because it was basically impossible to stop us from fighting. So they just let us do it. Like, hey, cool, go outside, get all your energy out, fight each other. When you're ready, come back inside. So every day was a brawl. If you won, it was like you have to rub in your brother's face too, right? So then you rub in their face, and then all that did was lead to another fight. So then you get another fight, and it just kept happening over and over and over again. So that was it, man. We had no furniture. We had a couch, and we had a rocking chair to rock the baby, and then like 0 pictures on the wall. There was no coffee tables. There was nothing in our room. It was like carpet, a couch, and a rocking chair, and that was it, because everything else became a weapon at some point. So it was funny. My parents went to sell the house, and it's like people come look at it and like, there's nothing in here. Who do you guys live here or no? But yeah, we lived there. That's where we lived.
Yeah.
There's probably like 1 million dings in the wall as well, just from throwing stuff at each other and just wrestling every day.
Yeah, I'm sure the cabinets and the refrigerator were empty too. I mean, how did your parents keep up with all that food intake with you guys?
Oh, my mom had it down. She didn't just have one refrigerator. She had I think 3 total. And then like a massive like one of those big freezers too. So she would first shop at the wholesale club, and then she'd stop at like the normal grocery store as well, and she would just stack up. It was impressive. So she was like ultimate shopper, ultimate couponer.
Yeah, easy to be.
She was ultimate at sewing our clothes, our sweatpants, our socks, all that. Like, everything got passed down. So by the time it got to me as a third, there was already holes in the sweatpants that I would wear. And then, all the hockey equipment would all be sewed back together. Like, it was mayhem. But that's how it was. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and my parents just tried to save as much money as possible.
Yeah, it all worked out for sure. Now, you mentioned you didn't think you were going to get drafted. You didn't get drafted, but what's your reaction when the Dallas Cowboys give you a call and invite you to camp?
No, I was freaking pumped, man. I was pretty much just told I was going to the Cowboys by my agent. And I was like, man, you sure? Like, they're a legit team. Are you sure there's a spot there for me? So I thought it was kind of crazy. I was expecting to like go to like some team that was 0-17 as an undrafted player, but my agent did an amazing job. He found a spot that he thought I would excel at. He saw an opportunity there, and he put me in a position to excel. So I was fortunate for that. And, I signed about 2 minutes after the draft. So I was pumped, man. I was super pumped. I knew it was a short leash though. I knew I was going to go in there, and if I didn't perform, I was done. I was like the most motivated you could ever possibly be, because everyone in my family got drafted but me at that point. So if you want like ultimate motivation and like, be in a situation where you have no chance but to win, that was what I was in. So my mindset was crazy. Like, I was a different person back then. I would beat the shit out of myself if I went back. Like, if I tried to fight myself, I would get absolutely dominated, because my mindset was crazy back then. So that's how I was able to make the team, because every day all I cared about was making that team, and I did everything I could to do it.
Yeah, and it seems like fullbacks don't really have a high shelf life anymore. But you did spend a couple of years in the NFL. You got injured a couple of times, little not really fortunate breaks there. Ultimately, you did retire. What was that process like? And were you happy that even if you were kind of like in a secondary role when you were, yet you still made the NFL?
Yeah, I was freaking pumped, man. I remember after my first year, I was like, dude, if I can make it 3 years, get retirement, pension, 401k, healthcare benefits, all that, I'm like, that would be insane. Like, that's not even possible. So when I made it 3 years, I was like, man, this is like the best thing that could possibly happen to me. So I knew it wouldn't be long. I think I probably still would have been playing though. I probably would have made the team my 4th year if I didn't get hurt in camp. But it was almost a blessing for me, man. At that time, my wife's business was starting to take off. As a fullback, all you do is smash your head every play. So I'm sitting there like, man, if I played like 2-3 more years, I don't know if I would have even known what was going on right now. So every hit, if you black out, is considered a concussion, I guess. So that was pretty much every play for me. So I figured it was probably better that I left and just got out of it. And I also was kind of forced out too. I got hurt. It was either have surgery or walk away from the game. And at that point, it was a decision where, I didn't want to have surgery again. So it was a way to just end it without having that feeling of regret where like, oh man, I could have went back for one more year. Like, if I tried out one more team, maybe I would have made it. Instead, it was like, hey, you didn't have surgery. Your hamstring scarred back down. It's torn. It's completely ruptured. So if you want to play at that high level again, it's not happening. So it gave me an opportunity to just walk away clean and just 100% focus on something else.
Yeah. So, you mentioned your wife's business, everything decorated, and ultimately you launched your business, Ice Shaker. What was that process like for you? And how did you maybe use some of your same mentality that you used to make the football team in your businesses?
Yeah. So I was lucky with that transition. I went right from football, where you're all in, hard work, you're grinding all the time. And I just took that same exact intensity and put it right into my wife's business. So I would say I was probably working 100 hours a week. I'm not even sure. I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. We were working out of the house. I'd walk in the other room. I start working. I completely stopped working out. I did nothing all day, every day besides work. And I'd go to bed at like 10 or 11 o'clock and wake up the next day and do the same thing. So it got to the point where like we'd have family get-togethers on Sunday, and I would go there and I'd fall asleep on the couch. And I was like, "What's wrong with you, man?" But that's what that's at that time in my life, all I cared about was growing something. All I cared about was money as well. I later found out that life isn't just about money and work, but at that time, that's what I was doing. So I took that same intensity, put it into business, went all in, and was able to build something super successful the first time around, and then did it again about 5 years later with Ice Shaker.
Yeah, and Ice Shaker is the best shaker bottle on the market, as we know. Kitchen grade stainless steel double wall vacuum insulated bottle that does not absorb odor and holds ice for over 30 hours without sweating, which is incredible. You got to say goodbye to those old smelly plastic shakers. And of course, you make it big, you guys. You're in the tank, Shark Tank. How did the opportunity come about for you, and where did the idea come for that awesome pitch that you guys put together there playing pong with the Sharks?
Yeah. Play Flip Cup, man. Flip Cup. That well, the idea came from college for sure, but I pretended that we used to do it to rehydrate because you're not allowed to play drinking games on ABC. We pulled it off. They weren't too excited about it, but I thought it was a great show. I think it's ranked one of the top 5 now, and they love re-showing it. We're actually one of the, I guess, like promo features right now for season 12. I think they're on, but they show our clip real quick this year. I'm like, yeah. And they show the clip like of us. I think it's us just all jumping. I don't think we're playing Flip Cup, but we got on because, email 2012. I was with the Broncos at the time. Drew Rosenhaus sends out an email to every single one of his guys on his roster, and he's like, hey, ABC is looking for current or former NFL players. They want to bring you on the show if you have something. So if you do, hit back this contact. So I'm like, damn, that's sweet, but I have absolutely nothing to present. But love the show. I watch all the time. I probably watched every single episode at that point. So I didn't even know how to use email. I hit the little star button. I'm like, man, one day, I don't even know what the star button means, but I'm going to come back to this email and I'm going to have some sweet idea that I'm going to send over to him. So it ended up being like 4.5 years later, thinking the idea for Ice Shaker. I'm like, I'm hitting it back. So hit it back. The girl didn't even work there anymore. And forwarded me to what I did. Bam. It was game on. Had to send in a video submission. And I was lucky enough to get on the show.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you knew A-Rod was going to be in there as one of the guest judges, but could it have been any better? I mean, A-Rod and Mark Cuban, those are the perfect 2 guys for you to go into business with there.
Yeah, for sure, man. That was the trifecta is what I called it of sports right there. So got them on board, and 6 months in, that's all it was. 6 months into the company, the exposure from it, the proof of concept from it, and the money from the show just exploded the business. So 80,000 in sales first 6 months, over 3 million the next 12 months. And we just grew from there. I took every penny, put it back into the company. Actually didn't pay myself for 2.5 years. So I took nothing out, used my wife's business to support what we were doing, and I just kept growing it as fast as I possibly could. So been super successful since day one, but I just wanted to pump this thing. So what people don't see is you're not just chilling after you get on Shark Tank. It actually goes from a part-time side hustle is really what it was at that point to a full-time job that you need multiple employees for that you don't have. So instead, you just absolutely grind it out, and you really learn how to run a business pretty much overnight. So as amazing as it was, it's a ton of work too. I think people kind of miss that aspect of Shark Tank.
So two-parter here. You struck the deal with Cuban and A-Rod. Have they or have you guys chimed in with them at any point? How often do you speak? Do you not speak? Don't even know if you do or not. And also, Cuban's got a lot of connections, obviously, as does A-Rod. So were there other athletes or people in the sports business or industry who saw that appearance on Shark Tank and understood how phenomenal the concept was, and then they reached out to you and either offered money to invest or just offered their input or tried to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So I guess I'll answer the second part first. Yeah, the one that reached out was my brother Rob. So yeah, he retired, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know what to do, man. Like, and I want to be a part of this." He definitely helped us get on the map. He definitely helped promote the product, and which was freaking massive early on. So he's like, "Yeah, I want to kind of see what you're doing. I want to be a part of it." So he ended up buying A-Rod out of the company. He asked Alex if he could. They made a pretty cool deal. He had to go on the Barstool podcast and do some other stuff with Alex, and then Alex sold it to him at a good profit, nice fat profit actually. So he made out pretty well on it. But Rob is now in the company. I thought he was going to do a lot more, and then he decides to unretire 3 months after he buys into the company. So he still does a lot for us. We've done some cool stuff. He actually came and got hired as a warehouse worker for a day. And posted a YouTube video on it and a lot of clips. But back to the original question about how much you talk to Mark. I actually have a call right after this with Mark's team. So I reach out to his main guy whenever I have any questions. They're a huge support system for us. What's really cool is that over 12 seasons now, I think it's at, maybe it's 11. I can't remember, either 11 or 12 seasons. Mark's been there since day one, and he's built an amazing team. He knows exactly what he needs to do to help. And it's a great networking community. So if I have questions, I can either reach out to him directly, or they're going to put me in touch with someone that's, has a better answer for me, which is another company that's doing a great job in whatever I'm interested in, whether it be, I've reached out to them for people with SMS contacts. SMS became big. I was like, man, I don't know about texting people. I kind of feel like that's a little invasive. And, next thing I know, hey, talk to the CEO of this company. They're doing a really good job with it. They're getting a great response from it. You guys should see what they're doing. So boom, I'm on the phone with the CEO. Hey, we've been doing it for a year. Amazing results. This is how we do it. Just completely unbiased opinions from other people that are in the same spots as me having success. So that's been huge as well. And then the connections, like you said, we're on QVC last month. That was a Mark Cuban connection. Right out the bat, right out the door, we're in GNC national because of the Cubans connection. So absolutely, man, he's got a great reach. We're not talking every day or anything like that. I mean, he invested a very small amount into our company, and he's a multi-billionaire. So I didn't expect him to come in and, completely take over my company or show me how it's done. And that's not what he wants to do anyways. And that's not what he's about. He's about helping people live the American dream. And if you need the help, he's there to help. If you want to run it on your own, he's there to answer questions. And he's going to sit in the background and watch you do your thing. So he's not there to try to force you to do anything or, rake in these massive profits or anything like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what you said on the show. You're like, I'm not here for money. If I need money, I'll hit up my brother. I'm here for guidance and, getting me to the next level here. Something I think is really cool that you guys do is custom bottles. What's the process behind that thought process? Probably works big for like big corporate events and whatnot, but how has that part of the business been for you?
Yeah, it's been big. So that was almost a combo of the two businesses coming together. So my wife's business, we're doing a ton of personalization. We realized that it's a huge selling point. People love custom and they love custom quick. So my wife's business grew so quick because we'd send everything out usually within 3 days, a lot of times same day, sometimes within 20 minutes of it being ordered. So we're all about quick speed. And when you do that, people talk and they tell everybody, they're like in shock. They'll email us back like, hey, I just ordered, but you guys forgot to personalize it. You already sent it out. And we send back, hey, we actually did personalize it. Our team was waiting for it. We're staffed up because of the holiday. Boom, it's already sent out. And they're telling all their family and friends that they need to come to us if they need anything last minute. So that's been massive, man. Absolutely massive. We actually just got a new laser in today. I think that's our 9th laser. So, we're growing quick, and that market's been really strong. We could put anything on the bottles, anything from events to logos, sayings, anything you want, we can put on the bottle, and we're going to turn it quick. So people need gifts. Everyone needs gifts, and we're here to provide them in a quick and efficient and easy manner. And that's what helps you grow. Just make it easy for everyone, and they'll keep coming back.
Yeah. So you guys have been traveling around a lot. I want to know your favorite party spots, or what were your favorite party spots?
Well, yeah, man, I don't party as much anymore now that I got 3 kids. Vegas was definitely a hot spot for sure. Yeah, I mean, LA was pretty good. But I'm going with Vegas, man, for sure. Sticking there. People especially with Rob, it's hard for him to get out. So without a bunch of people bothering him, and Vegas was one of those spots where, people weren't going to sit there and take a billion pictures and ask for autographs. And, they let you, they're there to party too. So, they give you some space. So that was our go-to spot.
What was the best Super Bowl championship party / parade?
Oh man, I think the last one was probably the best parade, but I missed it because they had it on a Wednesday. So I mean, it was a yacht parade, man. I mean, how do you beat that? That doesn't happen. So I'll probably go with the last parade was probably the best. I mean, New England was cool, but it was always cold, and it was on, on some duck boats, not on yachts.
And speaking of yachts, got to talk about the Gronk cruise. What was that experience like? And is there going to be another one?
That was a one and done for sure.
One and done. All right.
Yeah, that was party. I don't think anyone really wants to be stuck on a boat like that hungover anyways. Like everyone just went way too hard the first day, and then you're on a boat for like another 2 days, and that's rough once it starts rocking back and forth. I think everyone was sick by the end of it. So boats sound cool, but at the end of the day, I probably won't go on another cruise.
Last question before we let you go. You guys have been coached by a lot of really great football people through the years, a lot of great connections. And one person in particular, who was your favorite coach, somebody that you encountered, former player, could be anybody. Who was your favorite person that you've ever gotten to play with, be coached by, or meet in person?
Oh man, that's tough. I'll say, I mean, the one that sticks out to me the most is DeMarcus Ware. Just like favorite person to play with, just because, man, I was rookie nobody going into Dallas. Yeah, he was a man. Like he was freaking beast, man, at the top of his game at that time. And he was really cool. You walk in the locker room and he walks up and says hi. He invites me to work out with him in the off season at his place, like stuff like that, where you're like, man, I'm a nobody, and this guy is being cool and isn't just disrespecting you like some of the players do. So he really stood out. John Fox as a coach, I thought he was awesome. He's definitely a player's coach. He was a lot of fun to be around. Every day was fun to be on that field with him. So as a coach, I thought he was a really cool dude. He also put in a play versus New England when I played against Rob, just so I could score a touchdown. And he's like, I want you to have more touchdowns than your brother this game. So I was like, man, I love this guy. So somehow they covered it though, man. It was like the only friggin' pass play I ran the whole year. And somehow, Bill Belichick's ready for it, of course. He's like, I know he probably knew Fox was going to try to do something like that. So the guy was just, I think it was Patrick Chung at the time, was just literally sitting in the flat, like just standing there in zone. So yeah, I was kind of mad about that, but yeah, man. I mean, I play with a lot of cool guys though. Pat McAfee's another one, stands out for sure. Von Miller in Denver was definitely fun to play with, man. yeah, I mean, my whole running back room, I thought in Dallas was a blast as well. So that was a cool place to be. But it was fun, man. At that level, there's just so much respect between players. I mean, once you make it there, you realize how hard it is to get there, and you just have so much respect at that point. So, it's fun to be in a locker room with a bunch of guys that are at that level.
Absolutely. Congrats on your terrific success, your businesses. Nick and I wish you the best moving forward. We appreciated you coming on with us. So what we do here is we always give our guests the last words. If there's anything else you want to share, anything else you would like to promote that you haven't already, man, go ahead.
Oh, for sure.
All yours. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you coming on.
I like it. Yeah, no, I guess one thing we're trying to do right now is YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, the Gronks on YouTube. Trying to build the channel up to just kind of show a little bit more of what we do behind the scenes. So check that out if you haven't. We've done some ridiculous stuff. We'll do some more like charity stuff as well on there. But overall, it's just to have fun, get together with all 5 brothers and have fun doing some different stuff that we don't normally do. So check that out. And that's it. I appreciate you guys having me on today, and enjoy the 4th of July. Enjoy the B-Day, man. And if you want let me know.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Chris, it's been great. And you know what, Joe? I think after we win our men's softball championship the next few weeks, we got to go to Chris to get our custom championship jerseys and ice shaker bottles. We'll have to hit him up. But Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. That's going to do it here for this episode of You Know I'm Right. For our very special guest, Chris Gronkowski, and for my co-host, Joe Calabrese, I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.